Welcome to our new van. So welcome to our new van. As you guys know, we just did a new van build and we'll tell you why and what we changed in another video. This video is just going to be a van tour, show you around our van, what's in every nook and cranny in this thing. So this is a 2014 Mercedes Sprinter 2500. It's the 170 wheelbase. So we love that because then we can have a bathroom. So come on in, let's get a little tour in here. So first things first, closet. This is great. We have our dog crate down below. One of our dogs is just wandering around. I think the other one's hanging out in there. They love that thing. I know a lot of people don't crate train their dogs, but we do. And you guys always ask, what do we do with our dogs when we're not in the van with them? Well, they go in their crate and we put a fan there if it's warm outside. But we really step up the insulation on this van. It stays really cool in here, even if it's hot outside. So above that, we have our closet. This is just for hanging clothing and some storage for gear and bags and tripods and extra shoes, all that kind of stuff. We do have a shoe cubby right over here, but it's pretty small, and so we can't fit that many shoes in it. Yoga mats above that, and right below, or right behind the driver's seat, we hang some coats and all that kind of stuff. And this is where I store my gym bag. I literally just hang it on the back of the passenger seat. It's just easy. It doesn't really get in the way. We have our curtains, and down below here, you might not really be able to see it, but we do have an S-bar heater this time on this van. Serious game changer. We've used it a couple of times and it's amazing. So we absolutely love that.
Hello, my name is Nugget and welcome to my van. I was very happy he's watching this video right now. This is where I keep my food and my water. This is my mom.
Thank you, Nugget. So, by the way, we are in Durango, Colorado right now. If you have suggestions, places to check out while we're here, drop them in the comments below. We love getting recommendations from all you guys while we're traveling. Next up is our bathroom. We did use real tile in this build. You know, we took a risk, and so far it's holding up amazing. There are no cracks in the grout whatsoever. It holds up really, really well. So we have a full shower in here with a 2.5 gallon on-demand hot water heater that works amazing, and a urine diverting toilet, which we always laugh at the comments. Some of you think we're a little crazy for not going number 2 in the van, but you know what? That's the coolest part about building a van, is you get to choose what you want to put in it. And for us, that was just our choice and what we decided to do. Did it in our last build and it worked out great for us. So to each their own, and maybe one day that will change, but works for us for now. And we can make it a composting toilet if we have an emergency. So just want to put that out there. We got our nice sliding Nautilus self-cleaning retractable shower door. We went with a little stripey one this time. We love this thing. It's just great for keeping everything enclosed and making sure you're not getting water all over the van. Next up is our kitchen. So we actually made this a little bit shorter than our last kitchen. Our last kitchen came out quite a bit further. Moved the sink to right by the sliding door, which we love, and we actually changed up the sink a little bit. It's made by the same company, but our last one was a rectangle. This one is just a square, so it's a little bit smaller because the depth of our countertop is a little bit less deep this time. So we love our farmhouse sink. Holds up really well. If you are going to buy it, there's a link below for everything we use in the van. But if you are going to buy this sink, a lot of van lifers are doing that now. Make sure you seal it with a tile sealer, like 5 or 6 or 7 or even like 10 times, because this is a really porous sink. It's like a matte stone, so definitely be sure to seal your sink. With our faucet, so one of the reasons this kind of looks like a weird faucet is we actually have an Agic machine for Kangen water, and this faucet is made for the machine specifically so that we can actually drink the water out of our tap. So this is where the drinking water comes out, and this is where the acidic water kind of drains out. It is a little bit more wasteful, I guess you could say, because you're not using all of the water when you're drinking it. But we usually catch this runoff and use it for cleaning or filling up we have a little spray bottle for our toilet to spray that down sometimes. So we still try to use that water, and yeah, nice big kitchen. We've got a nice pull-out drawer here just for silverware. Right down below that, we have a nice little pull-out pantry. So we've got 2 drawers in here. We store our spices and just food and our propane because we did not do a built-in, and one of the reasons why is it takes 2 seconds to set up a camp stove, and then you're not losing all the counter space because realistically you're only using your stove maybe once or twice per day, and we just didn't want to lose the counter space in here. We really like having that nice and open. Below the sink, we have our garbage can. We've got our Enagic machine like we told you guys about. We've got some pots and pans, a little dish dryer, some cleaning supplies. Pretty simple. We have a 110 outlet down here, so it's great because our machine plugs right into it. And we have our toothbrush charger. This toothbrush is actually for the dogs. I know it's right next to the garbage can, but we don't actually put our toothbrushes in there, just the base to charge our toothbrushes. Up here we store some dishes. We have a milk frother for daily lattes. We got a electric kettle. This is just how we boil water in the morning to make coffee with our AeroPress over here, which is awesome. Highly recommend for any van lifers out there. And we got enamelware this time. It's really nice to not have, obviously you don't want to have anything that can break in the van, so we're trying to cut down our plastic usage too. So that's that. We got our fruit hammock down here. This is where we store some Tupperware and our stove. So last time we had a 2-burner stove. This time we just went with a 1-burner. It's really big. It's nice. Not very often that we're actually using 2 burners at the same time. So we went with this one. We actually couldn't find the one that we had last time. We sold that with the van. So Jill, I'm sure you're watching this. Shout out to Jill who bought our last van. She loves it. And then above that we have a pull-out butcher block, which is really nice to cut veggies on. This is how we prep food. That way you're not taking up the counter space when you have the stove set up. We love that feature. And then over here we've got our dresser. So this first top drawer is just office supplies, laptops, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like a junk drawer, not the most organized. Below that there's a drawer for me. This is like undies, shirts, shorts, all that kind of stuff. Then Alex has a drawer, and then the bottom drawer we share. And then over here is kind of just like toiletry stuff. Again, this is not the most organized setup. It's kind of a mess. We need to get some more bins and organize this a little bit better. But we just moved into the van, so we haven't had time to do that yet. So literally this is all just toiletries, that kind of stuff. Added this little bad boy in. We found this in our storage unit. We had it in our last house, and just putting books and iPad. It's great for storing our sunglasses. We've got our 12-volt switch over here. This one is for the shower pump. We've got one for the sink pump, and then these two in the middle are for our ball valves that drain the tanks. A lot of you might have seen that in another video when we were installing our gray water tanks. We have 2 gray water tanks. They're both 5 gallons. We're going to add one more, I think a 10 gallon, so we'll have 20 gallons total of gray water. There's always things to keep doing on the van. Your van is never done.
Sarah forgot to mention one of the most important features of the van, which is our beer opener right here. And then this switch is wired to the majority of our LED overhead puck lights, so it is on a dimmer. So this turns them up, dims them down, turns the lights off. When we were wiring the lights, this is something that we did in our last van. We realized that in the evening at night, you wanted to have a little bit of light in the back, and I also thought it would be nice to be able to turn that light on and off when you were in bed. So we do have another switch back here that we can actually use to turn on just one light that's directly over our bed and over our table. So this one light right here is wired independent of all the rest of our overhead lights. So nice little feature if you're thinking about really cool things you can do with your electrical system. Speaking of the electrical system, one of the really cool things we did in this van is create a electrical panel in one of our upper cabinets. So right here, this is our control panel. We have our Victron Energy battery monitor, our Victron digital multi-control for our Victron 3000 watt inverter charger. So this is really nice because you can turn the inverter off and turn the inverter on right from here without having to crawl into your electrical compartment in the back. We also have this little remote on Velcro, so we can turn our LED rope lights on, which are in the toe kick. They're color adjusting, which is really cool. We even have the control for our S-bar heater. We can turn it on and off right here. And this is the monitor for our freshwater tanks that we have both for the sink and for the showers. We have a 10-gallon freshwater tank for the sink and a 23-gallon freshwater tank for the shower. Behind this, if I just pull this open, This is where a lot of the behind the scenes action happens. So we have our 12 volt switch panel right here. We also have our Renogy Rover 40 amp solar controller, which takes the solar from the roof and converts it and charges the batteries. We also have our WeBoost connected in here, and just some spare electrical parts, as well as our Verizon Jetpack hotspot. So it's really nice because we can work on all of that stuff, like I said, without having to get into the electrical compartment in the back. When we move to the back, this is the bed / work, seating, eating area. A lot of stuff goes on here. So we do have a Lagoon pedestal that we mounted in this van, which is really nice because it's a lot more mobile than what our last pedestal was, which was just an up and down pedestal. We went with a little bit of a lighter table this time as well. This is just a 3/4 inch supported plywood table, so it's really easy to drop this down and make the bed. And we have another section that we keep in the closet that fits right here, and then the cushions all come together, and that's what makes our bed. So it's almost a king size bed, which is great. We have lots of room when we're sleeping, and it is 6 inches of memory foam, high density and low density memory foam, so you got the soft and a little bit of firm support as well. When we come into the back, just more storage area in the upper cabinets. This is all the dog stuff. Yes, they are spoiled. We keep some books, extra paper towels, some multivitamins, and then in the back compartment here, this is where we keep our cover for our mattress. We don't just use a sheet because we do have dogs and it is hot sometimes where we are, so I mean everybody sweats at night. So we wanted something that was really going to protect our cushions and our covers on our cushions, because the cushion covers alone cost about $800 between the materials and getting them made. So what we have, this is actually a mattress pad that has kind of a down topper on it, so it's going to totally protect our mattress in case like one of the dogs throws up in bed, like somebody did the other day. Right, Nugget? Yep. So then if we come on the other side, this is where we store just some extra electronic stuff, camera gear, speakers, more camera gear, some games, because we love playing games on the road. And then in the back here, this is where we have our down comforter. So we store it up here in the uppers. You can see the back half of all of our uppers is basically devoted to bedding. That's where we store that. Now, let's show you the brains of the operation. Let's show you the electrical compartments and our water tank compartments. So as you can see, I moved the cushions out of the way, I moved the table out of the way. Again, this is one of the things that we really like about the Lagoon pedestal, is that you can move the whole thing out of the way and you have all this space to access your different compartments. One thing I do want to point out is that right here we do have a 110 outlet, so when we need to charge laptops or anything like that when we're working at the table, we can plug in right there. And we have 2 vents that vent out our water compartment on this side and our electrical compartment over on this side, which is where we're going to start right now. In the back, this is the electrical compartment. So this is our 3000 watt inverter charger by Victron. This thing is really cool because you can actually hardwire everything into it directly, so you don't have to use extension cords or anything like that. And I'm a big believer that for your electrical system, you should have 2 ways to charge your batteries. So obviously we have a solar system. We have 3 100 watt solar panels from Renogy, which goes to the solar controller to the battery. So that's the first way that we could charge our batteries. And typically by 9 a.m. our batteries are 100% charged, and they charge themselves all day long. During the middle of the night, sometimes the batteries get down to like 70%. But then again, as soon as you start getting light on them in the morning, they charge back up. But if we were somewhere where we weren't getting any sun, or for some reason something went wrong with our solar system, we can plug into shore power using this inverter charger and charge our batteries. So some people like to connect their battery bank to their alternator, and that's an alternative way that you have a secondary charging system. But for us, we just decided to go with the shore power. Now I'm going to sit down and make this a little bit more comfortable. So we have 3 100 amp hour Battleborn Life Pro batteries. Now this is an awesome upgrade from our AGM batteries in our last van. What's really cool about these batteries is the fact that you can drain them basically down to 0 without shortening the life cycle of the batteries. So with traditional AGM batteries, that's Nugget whining because she's stuck behind the mattress by the door. Let me in!
Come through.
Come on.
Come on, you can make
Let's
it.
go.
You're skinny.
Yeah,
You got it, Nug. Come
Let's
on.
go. Now that the puppy's been rescued, we can get back to the electrical compartment. So again, you can drain these down to basically zero without shortening the life cycle of the batteries. With traditional AGM or acid batteries, you can really only take them down to 50%. So in our last van, we had 465 amp hours, but because it was AGM amp hours, only half of that was actually usable before we started to shorten the lifespan of the batteries. With these batteries, we're actually able to take them down all the way to zero, like I was talking about. Another cool thing is they're about 75% lighter and like 25% smaller. So they take up less space, they add less weight to your van. Really cool company, excited to be working with Battleborn. So we have all these connected in parallel. We have, you know, a bunch of different fuses and circuits going through here. This is a small house breaker panel that comes off of the inverter, which feeds our 110 system. So all of this is on circuit breakers, a 20 amp circuit breaker for the hot water heater and a 15 amp circuit breaker for all of the plugs. And everything is grounded through this grounding bar over here. So that's a little bit of the behind the scenes of our electrical system. Next, we will show you one of our water compartments. So this compartment feeds the sink faucet, which we basically use just for drinking water now. And we do that because we actually realize that our nozzle, the spray nozzle in our shower, which has hot water coming through, it actually reaches our sink. So we use that a lot for doing dishes now. So this runs through our Enagic water filtration system, which gives us alkaline water. So we fill this 10-gallon tank just through this black hose here. And as you can see, I also have a built-in drain valve and also a vent valve here that goes out onto the ground. So if I did need to empty this tank for some reason, I can go ahead and empty it. Show you the other water compartment. To film with dogs in the van, this is one of the challenges. I'm trying to show you this compartment right now. They want to be up here. Don't you? Okay, off, 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 baby. Come here. Yeah, come on. Yep, up here. There you go. Come here. Yep, there you go. All right, so there they go. This is the water compartment for our shower. This has a 23-gallon freshwater tank and a 2.5-gallon on-demand hot water heater, like Sarah mentioned earlier. All of this runs through a 3 gallons per minute C-Flow pump, which does have a sediment filter attached to that. Everything then goes through our Anespa DX filter. So it gives you like spa water coming out of your shower. So we're really excited to have that connected this time. And again, so we have this Bosch hot water heater. Plumbing in your van is fun after you've done it one time. The first time it's a total pain in the butt. If you have questions about how to set up your plumbing, what materials to use, again, there's links down below for all the products that we used and all of the things that we have learned during this process. And as you can see, this portion of the van is framed out in metal studs, and then we've put plywood skins on all of it, the majority of it, but that's what holds this together. And we wanted something a little bit more durable than just building our bed out of just plywood. And as you can see, again, we do have shut-off valves on the cold water lines going to the hot water heater, and again, another drain valve right here along with the venting for this tank. And this tank we actually fill from our storage unit in the back. Another thing that I want to show you is we do have a 20 amp outlet right here, and this is what connects to the hot water heater. So that's what powers the hot water heater when the inverter is on.
Like Alex mentioned, we love having that lagoon table because it's easy to take off. And we did do the U-shape again this time. So this compartment opens up, if I can get my fingers in there. And this is just extra storage. So we've got our hose to fill up our water tank. We have our drone, drill, just some extra tools. Our camp chairs are in here as well. And that just is a nice place to have extra storage. As Alex was talking about, there is the inlet for the 23-gallon water tank. That's how we fill that. We've got an outlet back here just so that we can charge our little hand vacuum that we have. And again, this is really nice to just have extra storage. And when we didn't have this U-shape, your table's so big that it's kind of funky and weird. It's really nice because we have these other cushions we can put here and you can like lounge in the back. So it's pretty cool. We love having that. Nugget really likes it too. That's her favorite spot to hang out. These are our pillows for back here, and they also double as a hugging pillow at nighttime. We put pillowcases on these, and it's really nice that we can use them because both Alex and I are side sleepers, and so we love to have a pillow to hug. But yes, these just go right like that. Pretty easy, simple. And then the last thing, we made our custom Reflectix covers again. So this is just Reflectix with fabric on it, and we glued black fabric to the back and then sewed this other fabric on the front. A lot of you guys mentioned that like Reflectix doesn't really do anything, but trust me, yes it does. If you feel the back of this thing during the day, it is so hot, and inside it's nice and cool, so it makes a huge difference. Not only that, but then it gives you the privacy at nighttime when you have windows in the van. That way people can't see in. And no van would be complete without a fan. We really wanted to potentially put an AC unit in this van. We decided against it just because we didn't really have the space on the roof, which we'll show you next. But you gotta have a fan. It really does help a ton to get ventilation in here, and it's the best. So we have the Dometic one. It doesn't have the remote, but it's really not that hard to walk like 2 steps and turn it on.
Super excited to have an Illuminess rack on this van. This is one of the big upgrades compared to our last van. So we do have the side ladder, the Illuminess low profile rack for the 170, and this is actually a stock rack that they make that has 2 vent cutouts in it for like the most common spots to put your vent fan. So if you are interested in an Illuminess rack, if you get the stock one, it's actually a much shorter waiting time than having to make a custom one for you, which is really cool. So the ladder goes up on top where we have our 3 100 watt Renogy solar panels. Those are all mounted using the Illuminess clamp-on solar mounts, and we also have 2 other crossbars that we're going to be using to attach a box up there eventually. So we're working on getting a box and some stand-up inflatable paddle boards that we want to put up there. So if you have any recommendations on those, let us know in the comments below.
So hopefully you enjoyed that little van tour. Let us know what questions you have below. We are going to do another video that is all about what we changed and why we changed it. Obviously this layout is a little similar to our last van.
A lot similar. So if you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you want more awesome van life content and content about living and working remotely, please go ahead and subscribe. And Sarah, what should they do if they're interested in our build ebook that we're going to be coming out with?
Yeah, so we are coming out with a layout build ebook, tips, tricks for building your van and making it look like ours, and all the secrets that we use to build a really nice van. So if you're interested in that, you can click the link below. There's just a link to sign up. If you're interested, it'll be out in like probably the next 2 weeks is the goal. So fingers crossed on that. We will give you dimensions of everything in the van. So if you're interested in that, it's going to be affordable. We're not going to charge a lot for it. But yeah, if you're interested, click the link below, and we'll see you guys next time.
All right, thanks for watching.
Bye.